everyone, today I've got The Hunt movie review. In the midst of this coronavirus and only a limited number of releases, is this one still worth a watch? Because it's got quite the concept. So as far as the story goes, directed by Craig Zobel, this movie has a bunch of strangers waking up gagged and bound after being kidnapped for one purpose and one purpose only: to hunt. This was a concept that I was originally against because I just, didn't care to see it being executed literally on screen. And I feel like as soon as I found out that this movie was, on the fence of getting released in general, and I feel like in this political climate, I was like, is this a movie that really society needs to see unless they only care about it still being entertaining or not? The studio behind this movie did originally cancel it before deciding, okay, we're just going to release it again. And I was like, okay, really? We have seen satirical concepts being played out on screen before with movies that also endured some backlash, like the movie Jojo Rabbit, which originally I didn't like the first time I saw it, and then the second time I actually did enjoy it. So I was worried, okay, am I seriously going to hate this movie altogether? Because this one pits liberals against conservatives, or the deplorables, as it is stated several times in this movie, in this sort of Hunger Games style concept that starts off acting like you should immediately take a side of one over the other. And as a viewer, I was like, with it being slightly political, I just did not like that concept at all. But throughout the movie, it shows how both sides are to blame for certain things happening, and how, who started what, and how that all sort of transpires and plays out. And it just kind of gets crazy after a while. As far as the casting goes, you've got Betty Gilpin, who leads this movie as a character who comes off, as badass. She has this multi-layered personality that drives her motivations, and I feel like she definitely stands out the most out of anyone in this movie, until Hilary Swank comes along, and she's obviously playing a completely different side politically. And oh man, I just really hated her character, even though she wasn't as shown as much in this movie. However, there are a lot of characters in here being played by actors that are, somewhat well known. It just seems like maybe they weren't completely put to waste in this movie. But this is mostly Betty Gilpin's movie, and I feel like she's such a good actress altogether. So if you've definitely seen some of her previous work, you know just how good she is, and here in this movie she does not disappoint. So the things that I liked about this movie, which is kind of sad to say because I really did not, going into this movie, want to like anything about it, but it is a very intense movie, and it gives just enough violence that I feel like I've seen in other movies like this before, like The Purge. And I feel like, in a way, this does have that kind of Purge concept, and they're constantly bringing up all of these PC terms that, I feel like deserve a laugh or two, because sometimes it is good to make fun of ourselves and maybe less make fun of, the other side, so that we see that, everybody has flaws. Now, this is a bad love review contender because despite whatever message it was trying to send, I feel like this is a movie that has such an outlandish plot that I think as a society, we don't need to see something like this. And even though going to the theater, it's called escapism, but at times it really does push the envelope, and it can make you feel uncomfortable watching this. And that's kind of why, sometimes there was the word snowflake also being brought up in this movie. So I guess it's just, once again, adding to this PC culture and people mocking each other, and that's why this movie also mocks certain aspects of, what's going on in society. Now, unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that it's really not as memorable as you would think it would be, and it doesn't have moments that jump out at me unless they're just made for shock value. I mean, that's literally what most of the action is in this movie, and it does get annoying after a while because I feel like I'm not seeing anything unique, especially when the jokes on both sides of the aisle are not that funny. And to me, it doesn't solve the problem I feel we face in this country. And if I wanted to truly laugh at something that was political, I would just watch those SNL skits. So overall, I would say that there are some lessons that need to be learned here about, who we are as a society, and if there are going to be ways that we can try to make it better. This is a movie that I will never want to see again, and so I am kind of on the fence about recommending it to you guys. I just feel like it's not a good movie, and it's not one that we need right now. So I'm kind of mad that it still got released in theaters. So I would give this 2 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of The Hunt, and as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.